Morning students of standard 10. Today we are going to discuss topic food wave from chapter 5, our environment. Food wave. It is an interconnection of huge number of food chain. So students, food wave actually is the interconnection of huge number of food chains. That is, when huge number of food chains gets interconnected with each other, and the transfer of energy also keeps on revolving in a huge network of food chains, then that is called as food wave. Food wave is present on land. So students, food wave is generally present on land. So students, if you concentrate here on this picture, then you can notice that there are huge number of food chains which are interconnected and are starting from the producers. So students, here you can find the flowers and the shrubs as the producers. And the first food chain which is here forming is the caterpillar, which is obtaining its nourishment from the producer, thereafter the sparrow, and finally falcon. So students, this is the first food chain. The second food chain is the sparrow, second is the rabbit, and thereafter the falcon. So students, both of these two food chains remains interconnected, and the third food chain is the mouse, the weasel, and the wolf. So students, this is the third food chain. So students, here we can notice that the mouse also can be eaten by the falcon, and this shows that two or more than two food chains, when remains interconnected, then that forms the food wave. Food wave is also present in oceans. So students, the food wave which is present in the oceans actually comprises of the phytoplanktons, the zooplanktons, and a huge number of other aquatic organisms which are obtaining their nourishment from it. So students, here also you can notice that the phytoplanktons are connected with the zooplanktons, and zooplanktons are connected with the palm jellies, and palm jellies are further connected with the sea nettles. So students, that's the first food chain. The second food chain is the zooplanktons consumed by the sea nettles, and sea nettles further is consumed by the turtle and daddelfish. The third food chain, you can see students here that the larval fishes also eat the zooplanktons, and the fishes, big fishes, also consume the zooplanktons. So students, here also you can notice huge number of food chains which remains interconnected to form the food wave. Even in food wave, producer and consumer are interconnected. So students, if you notice here in the food wave, then you can see here that producer and consumers are interconnected. So students, this is the producer and this is the consumer, where the consumer further can be distinguished into three types: the primary, the secondary and the tertiary. So students, these three consumers further depend upon the producer to obtain their nourishment. And if you concentrate here, then you can easily find that all the three types of consumers goes on declining as they move up to the tertiary consumer. A disturbance in a single organism does not disturb the food web. So students, one of the important difference between the food chain and food web is that here in the food web, if there is a disturbance in a single organism, then it does not disturb the food web. So students, here you can notice the food chain and the food web here. So students, if you here remove one of the topic level like frog or cricket or even snakes or even the eagle, so removal of a single topic level will disturb the whole food chain. But students, this is not exactly true in the food web. Students, food web actually is a collection of huge number of organisms. So even if we remove rabbit or the mouse or the cricket or the dragonfly, then it does not disturb the whole food web, because food web is a collection of huge number of food chains, and removing of a single trophic level from the food web will not disturb the food web. Food web is even more stable than the food chain. So students, food web is more stable because it's a collection of huge number of food chains. So students, because in the food chain limited number of organisms remains present, so we can say food chain is lesser stable in comparison to the food web, where here you can notice students that huge number of organisms are interconnected with each other and obtain their nourishment. So that is why even if we remove one of the organisms, the food web still manages to remain stable and does not get disturbed. It improves the adaptability and competitiveness of organisms. So students, it improves the adaptability and the competitiveness of the organism. So students, food web improves the adaptability and the competitiveness. So here students, you can notice that the adaptability of the different trophic levels in the food chain increases, and even the competitiveness among the organisms also increases due to the huge number of food chains which are interconnected with each other. So students, now let's discuss a very important question. Why food web is more stable than food chain? Food web is more stable than food chain because food web is not a linear sequence of limited organisms, but actually is a collection of huge number of organisms. Thank you, students.